Next, we're moving the chest. There again, we want to stay with the basic exercises. Number one, barbell bench presses, incline barbell presses, then flat dumbbell flies. Three basic movements. Three movements that have been around for decades. First, when doing bench presses, make sure you have someone around that can act as a spotter, or if you have a good training partner. This movement cannot be taken too lightly. It can be very dangerous. So you want to always, again, use a pure bench principle, starting with the lighter weight. So that if you do lack control, you'll know your limitation. You don't want to go any heavier. Okay? Here we're going to start with 135 pounds. The bench press is an exercise that has been set up for mass, building mass and strength in the upper body, especially in the pecs. Now this exercise does not hit the upper portion of the pec, but the lower portion and the mid portion of the pecs. Okay? First, I want to get a grip that is a little more than shoulder width. If you come in too close, you're going to be working tricep. You don't want that to happen. So you want to come a little bit more than shoulder width. Okay, Terrell, if you can give me a lift off. Okay. Okay, I'm coming down in a controlled manner, and I'm exhaling on the way up. Inhaling on the way down, exhaling on the way up. And as I'm coming up, I'm flexing the pecs at the top of the movement. Just as you should flex the bicep when performing a barbell curl or concentration on any of the bicep movements. Okay, Terrell. We're then moving to incline presses, which incline presses are bread and butter for the upper pectoral region. They must be present in your workout in order to develop the upper pecs. Now, sometimes we can use a combination of the barbell incline press along with the dumbbell incline press, but the basic is the barbell. Although, if you would, I would like you to spot me. Okay? There again, the grip should be a little bit more than shoulder width, not too narrow, because you don't want to bring too much of the tricep into play. You want the stress to be up on the upper pectoral region and the delts. Okay? All right. So we up. Good control. Exhale on the way up, flex the pecs. Come to the upper part, just right in front of the chin. It's right in front of the chin. Okay. That's good. And always keep in mind, when you're doing incline presses or bench presses, make sure that the head is pointed straight ahead. Never squirm or twist the neck or bring the feet up off the floor. You can end up injuring the spine. And never put too much stress on the back of the neck. Always push off with the chest and not off with the neck. End up with a lot of problems in the long run. Okay, upon completion of the barbell bench press and the incline barbell press, which are two very important basic exercises that are set up for basically mass, we're then going to dumbbell flies, which are very important for hitting the overall chest muscle because of control. This is a very important movement, and control must be there. It's more or less a polishing exercise. Just as concentration curls are for the bicep, dumbbell flies are for the chest. So what you want to do, bring the dumbbells up, place them on the thighs, sit, and as you rock back, bring the dumbbells back with you in order to prevent having to lift them up from the floor and possibly injuring a ligament or a joint. Okay? Like so. Okay? Always keep feet planted firmly on the floor. Come up, flex the chest at the top of the movements. Come down in a controlled way. Squeeze the top of the movement. come down, and as you lower the dumbbells, widen out at the bottom. Come up, flex at the top of the movement. Just like so.
So it's important to rotate the wrists when you do this way?
The reason for the rotation is that what it's enabled me to do is to fully extend and flex the pecs, to twist them around so that I can bring every portion of the pectoral muscle into play. So that is the reason for that. Coming like so, you're squeezing and flexing. Matter of fact, that's the way I did it from day one, in that fashion. But I found to roll the wrists around, you're able to bring a little bit more of the pec into play. Okay, when you finish, place the dumbbells back on the knee, on the thigh muscles, and shift the weight forward.
Come on, Haney. Come on. Yeah, come on. Yeah. Okay. Oh, man. All you, Haney. All you. Come on.
Quality and quantity is good. Just so there's a link between the two. When there's more quantity than quality, something's wrong.
Ah, come on, John. Come on, baby. Yeah. Come on. Yeah. All you. Yeah. Come on, Haney. Come on. Yeah. Come on. One more. That's all. Yeah. Good set.
He understands that I'm Mr. Olympia, and that I am, so to speak, the rabbit, and he's the hound dog. As long as I keep a lead, he'll always eat my dust. As soon as I lie to have a head of lettuce, he's gonna catch me. But until that time, let's go, hound dog.
Oh, come on, get mad about it. Come on, let's go. Yeah. Come on. All right, show me what it's all about. Yeah, come on. Oh, good. Show me. Yeah. Yes, you got it. Yeah. Come on, Haney.
I'm glad that I'm not those guys worrying who's gonna be second, third, or fourth.
Come on, Haney. Look at your toe. Come on. Yeah. Come on, Haney. Yeah. That's it. Come on, Haney. Last it. Come on. Keep going, baby. Keep going. Come on. Good squeeze. Come on.
I feel at this point to wrap the knee. Some people don't advise wrapping, but I do. I feel that the wraps do act as extra ligaments and tendons, and will, in a way, help to protect the knee.
Get it up. Come on, Haney. Good.
I know my competition is only doing 5 sets, so I'll do 6. Let's go, baby.
Come on. Get in the groove, baby. Let's go. Yeah. One more roll. Come on. Good thing. Come on. Yeah. Hold on, baby.
never allow anyone to give force reps to you if you're not somewhat in control of the movement yourself. Always be in control. Never allow anyone else to be in control of the movement.
よろしくお願いします。
We're going to roll right into leg extensions. Now, I feel that leg extensions is very, very important to have as your first exercise. Reason being that following leg extensions, there are other exercises such as squats and leg presses. If not having the knees warm before going into these exercises, it can result into injury or strain. That's why it's very important to have leg extensions first. Now, leg extensions are the bread and butter of the thigh. It hits the outer head of the quadriceps, the mid portion of the quadriceps, and especially the teardrop. Now, there again, I want to emphasize the importance, just as I have the previous exercise that we've done, the importance of using a pyramid principle, starting with a lighter weight and working your way up. Feet should be pointed straight ahead, although some people choose to switch the ankles up to turn the toes out. But I would prefer, and I think it's much safer, to always keep the toes pointed straight ahead or slightly turned in. Okay. Come up, flex the thighs at the top, lower it slowly. Up, flex the thighs at the top, lower it slowly. Yep. Notice he's locking all the way out at the top, and he's coming down in a controlled manner. A lot of us have the tendency to come up and down very fast. You can end up hurting yourself in that way, and the repetition is not as effective. At all times, the mind and the muscle must be linked together. The mind and the muscle must become one in order to make one rep equal 2 reps. The squats will help towards promoting growth, especially mass, throughout the entire quadricep and also hamstring region. It hits the 3 quads here in the front, also the thigh bicep, or we sometimes call it the hamstring. Okay? The narrow stance, I feel, is much more effective. And so when coming down, by having a narrow stance, you're going to be able to pull these muscles into play, the inner thigh into play, the inner teardrop, and also the inner and upper thigh into play. It's a very awkward way to do a squat, but I feel it's the most effective way.
Why do some people stand with the board underneath their head?
By using the board, I feel that is incorrect form. A lot of people say, well, I have pain in the lower back. That's why I use the board.
Is it cheating?
It's cheating. It's almost like leaning forward, which is not going to alleviate the problem. What you need to do is lower the weight, start off from the beginning, fresh, clean, learn to use the proper stance, and always the method of putting the heels flat on the floor. When you're doing squats, the heels should remain flat on the floor. Never, when on the way down, should the heels come up off the floor. That is the incorrect way to do squats. You end up putting a lot of stress on the lower back. As I emphasized earlier, the importance of using the belt while doing pressing exercises, especially shoulders, is also very important to use them while doing squats, even more so, because the lower back is involved as well as the thighs. There again, pyramid. Make sure that when you begin, it's a weight that you're able to control. It's not too strenuous on the joints. By now, the knees should be partially warm from doing leg extensions. Okay? Now, what I'm about to do is a narrow stance. This is the type of stance that I've used from day one in order to help develop my thighs to the point that they are now. Keeping the knees pointed straight ahead. Arch the back on the way down, head up at all times. And always gradually go down. Lower the weight in a controlled fashion, not too fast. There again, not too slow.
I noticed when you do your squats, you squat down so your thighs are roughly parallel to the floor. I've seen a lot of guys go below parallel. Is that Is that incorrect to do that?
Parallels is enough. To go below parallel it's unnecessary, I feel, especially for a taller person. A shorter guy, A-okay, no problem. But you want to always be very careful not to put too much stress on the joints. If you're going to go below parallel, make sure that you're controlled. Okay. Leg presses are excellent for isolating the thigh muscles, isolating the quadriceps and also the hamstring. Now, what it will enable you to do is to get the most out of each and every repetition. Whereas squats being more or less a power move, you're not able to fully squeeze and flex the thigh at the top of the movement. And there again, leg presses carries a lot less danger than squat does. We're going to use a stance where it's somewhat wider, the toes pointed outward, because what we want to do here is work the inner thigh and the upper thigh muscles. Everything is involved here. We can feel a little bit more in the inner thigh, being that the legs are pointed outward. Up. We're going to come down in a controlled fashion. Thighs pointed outward. Flex on the way up. I prefer pushing off on the heels. By doing so, I'm going to be able to squeeze out that little extra at the end of that repetition. Down, squeeze. Exhale. And coming down, you're going to have to let the air out. So we got a blow and a blow, okay? Now to walk onto the stage or just to have an underdeveloped leg which lacks the thigh bicep or hamstring is not what you would want to call a complete lower body. So it's very important to make sure that you're well equipped and that you have a good balanced shape to the thigh. And that's why leg curls are so very important. And the hamstring muscle being a somewhat harder muscle to stretch and warm up. You want to start with a lighter weight, just as we did on the other exercises, and gradually increase the weight. You don't want to ever start too heavy on this. You don't want to start down and lean over and start stretching cold hamstring muscles. You want to go ahead and do your first set, which would be a very light set, and then gradually increase. And stretch the hamstring as you increase the weight while pyramiding. Okay. First, you want to get yourself situated. You want to come up and lower it in a slow, controlled fashion. When you're coming up, you want to flex the bicep, the hamstring bicep at the top of the movement. Let it come down in a controlled, gradual manner. Up. There we go. Always using good form and control. Okay. Now, upon completion of the set, what you want to do is make sure that you stretch the hamstring just a little. Don't overdo it because they're still cold. We've just completed the first set. Going into the second and third set, you want to stretch them just a little bit more as you gradually go on. Okay, now the reason for stretching the hamstrings is to help to lengthen them out. It helps to add length to the hamstring, and more or less keep them loose. Because this exercise is very, very concentrated, and you can get a little crampy back there. So you want to stretch them out at all times. Okay, just a little. Just rock from side to side, just a little. Just some slight toe raises. Okay, don't overdo it, especially if this is very new to you. You can have a complete upper body, nice taper and so forth, and perfectly balanced thighs, but then if you lack calf, you can forget about it. The physique is not complete unless everything flows together, and that includes especially the calf muscles. Now, the best exercise for developing overall mass in the calves are the standing toe raises. Now, this is the bread and butter and a very basic exercise that is necessary in order to bring about the type of development. Just as squats, just as barbell curls, are the basics for legs and arms. Standing toe raises are the basics for building the calves. Okay? When doing toe raises, what you want to do is first determine what type of stance is the most effective. I advise using a narrow stance with the toes pointed slightly in, so that you'll be able to work the outer heads of the calf muscles just as well as the inner head. For the most part, you never have a problem developing the inner head of the calf. It's normally always the outer head that causes the problem. So I'll give the first example. Okay? So now that we're set, the top position, you want to squeeze the toes, let it down slowly. Get a good stretch at the bottom. Come up, flex, down slowly. Come up, flex, down slowly. Come up, flex, down slowly. Okay? Upon completion of each and every repetition, it's very important to slowly stretch the calf muscles. By stretching them, you'll be able to elongate the calf. If you don't stretch them out, it can develop into a high calf. If the calves are already high, they will remain high. So you want to stretch that muscle out. What you like to do is place the feet on the toe piece of the calf machine and pivot back and forth, shifting the weight on each calf, gradually stretching them out. You won't overstretch them on the first set. Stretch them between sets will be much better. Never stretch a cold muscle.
Lee, can you work calves more often than other muscle groups?
Well, the calf is a stubborn muscle. I will say that to work the calf 4 times a week is no problem. Whereas major body parts, such as the back, the shoulders, the biceps, and so forth, the upper body, the thighs even, could only be worked effectively twice a week. Now, the calf, being a very high tolerance muscle, needs more than a 2-day-a-week workout in order to stimulate them. In that respect, I would advise training them every other day. I like to throw that day in between because by having that rest day there, the calf is at least able to recover, and then using more or less a shock technique. All of a sudden, say, oh, this guy's not going to train me tomorrow, so I'm going to relax. And you get a much better pump. I feel it's much more effective. All right.
よろしくお願いします。